Yo, just as a little extra at the end of this. Okay, what's up everybody? How's it going? Eternal here for some more raid, and today I want to look at the new champions that have been released. So the epics, the legendaries, things like that. I'm not really going to bother with the rares. They're rares, okay. But in particular, the fusion epics. So not so much Azure, who we already have, but Fang Cleric, Sepulture Sentinel, Skytouch Shaman. I want to take a look at these three, and also take a look at the fusion and kind of if it's really worth it or not. You know, if it's worth going for. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the index and kind of run through these champions that we've got. So we've got 4 new legendaries, I believe. 5 if you count the Frosty Dude too. And let's start up with Minaya. She's a Venus model, so it's like a Venus reskin, but not like a lazy Venus reskin. They've actually, yeah, so the same animation there. Hair's the same, cape's different, whatever. That's cool. Like she's been changed enough. It's like Venus's cousin or something, right? So let's go through her abilities. So she's got a continuous heal for the ally that's on the lowest enemy. It's worth noting as well she's attack based with good attack and defense stats and quite nice speed. I think it's the same as Venus actually. Her A2 attacks one enemy, heals this champion and the ally with the lowest health by 10,000, so that's a flat heal. Has a 75% chance of placing 100% heal reduction debuff on all enemies. So you can place a heal reduction debuff whilst healing the ally of the lowest HP. Might be good on defense-based characters, so maybe a Tyrell or something with lower HP. That could be good. Generally speaking, though, 10,000 is not that much. You're probably better off with a percent-based heal, like 40%. That's much better. Heals all allies by 40% of their max HP. Places a block debuff buff for 2 turns on champions under increased defense. So there's some synergy with block debuffs and increased defense. If a champion is fully healed by this skill, also places a shield buff on them for 2 turns. So there's a heal and a shield, and then fills the turn meter of all allies by 20% when this champion is killed. Revives this champion with 75% HP when killed if Corona is on the same team. So there's synergy between Minaya and Corona. And then she's got a speed, ally speed in all battles. She's okay. I don't think she's particularly strong on her own, if I'm honest with you. She's interesting, but on her own, I think that's about it. I don't think she's game-changing. If you can get a character with an increased defense, that's pretty good. There's synergy there, but overall, I don't think she's a fantastic character. Azure, obviously, for the fusion, but he's been around for a while. Barbarians get Skytouch Shaman, who has a really pretty cool model actually. It's like a War Maiden altered kind of, yeah, she's pretty cool. What I don't really like about her is the fact that her passive and her A1 kind of conflict. So she can attack all enemies, heals by 50% damage inflicted if this champion has less than 50% HP, boost this champion's turn meter by 20% instead if this champion has 50% higher HP or higher. So she can turn meter boost, but then if you look at her passive, she damages herself and heals her allies, but then she places a decreased speed on her at the start of each turn and a 50% chance to place the fear buff too, which just seems really bad. Fear's pretty strong, and so is decreased speed, and placing that on yourself is really, I think that's kind of ruins her, I think, unless you manage to place the blocks debuff, in which case you wouldn't apply the fear and the speed. I'm guessing that's how it would work. So she can remove all debuffs and then place that, but she's slower if she's got this on, and she's doing that passively, so I don't really like her. I think she might be a bit of a dead character as it stands. So I brushed over these briefly, the epics, but we've actually got the Corona as well, who I think is pretty cool looking. Well, he's ugly as hell, but so he's like the cursed Banner Lord, I think. There's a bit of story behind it. It's basically Beauty and the Beast.
But let's look at him and his skills. So attacks all enemies, has 50% chance of decreasing each target's turn meter by 10%. And if Minaya's on there, you hit twice instead, and you'll decrease by 20%, I believe that's right. Attacks all enemies 2 times instead of 1. I think. Now, I don't know if it would be a 20% decrease here, like thinking about it. It might just be that that is a 100% chance and it's a 10% decrease. So less damage, but a guaranteed decrease there on the A1. It's an AoE, so that's not too bad. It's HP based, which is quite nice. Yeah, this is quite good. Has a 75% chance of placing provoke, so when booked it's 100, so provoke buff on all enemies. Places a block debuff buff and increased debuff buff on this champion for 2 turns. Really nice. And if you've got Minaya, you remove all debuffs before doing that. This is nice. Battle Waltz. 4 turn when booked. He does take... Oh, it's not too bad on the books actually. What's that? 4, 8... Okay, 11. That's not too bad for a legendary. Tackle enemies. So you place a decreased attack and a decreased defense on all targets. Now that's really nice. Like I said, he's based on HP. He's got really high HP, 27,000. This guy could potentially hit pretty hard. His defense is a little bit low, so he's probably going to take some damage though. And his passive, he's going to counterattack whenever somebody with a decreased attack, decreased defense, or decreased speed hits. So that's kind of cool. And then always counterattacks if Minaya is on the same team. So he's a lot better with Minaya. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns if his champion kills an enemy. So for that reason, his usability in Clan Boss is quite a lot less, unfortunately. If that was just, I don't know, you put a cooldown on it, it's all allies every 2 turns, 3 turns, something like that, I think that'd be nice. Maybe it's not when you kill an enemy, maybe it's when you hit an enemy. I prefer that design, but because of the way he is, he's more of a dungeon and arena character. I believe that's the kind of the, you know, with this is really nice for arena and dungeons. You know, arena and dungeons. So, and if you pull this guy earlier on, he could probably carry you a little bit, I think. So, pretty cool champion. My thoughts on these guys haven't really changed. I don't think they're going to be fantastic. I did look at them in a previous video. Like, I just don't think whilst I like the models, particularly of this guy, I think he looks awesome. I don't think they're going to be too fantastic. The decrease crit, so they have synergy actually, because this guy places decrease crit by 30%, so that's pretty big. But still don't think they're going to be too fantastic. Orcs. Orcs got 1 character, I believe, which is Sand-Lashed Survivor. Defense based. She looks really cool. She's got that kind of Urukai look. I really like that. But yeah, smell weakness. She attacks an enemy 2 times. Places has a 30% chance to place a provoke. If this champion has no debuff, so it's conditional. And then heals by 15% of damage inflicted if she's under debuffs. Tackle enemies, decrease the duration. So this is pretty cool. So you decrease the duration of buffs and increase the duration of ally buffs. So that's pretty cool. And then she's got a, when booked, 4 turn ally protect on all allies when an ally drops below half health, and then places a block damage on this champion. So she's ally protecting the team and then blocks all the damage, so half of that damage is gone straight up. And she's got a really nice aura, so she's cool, but I don't know how usable she's going to be. I think her kit is decent. She's got an ally protect there, defense aura. This I don't think is amazing. This is nice, the understands. So not a big fan of her, but I do like the concept at least. Rotos the Lost Groom, he is the fusion, so let's look at him. Attack an enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a decreased defense and a 30% chance to grant strikes return. He is based on attack and HP, so that's worth noting. Attacks an enemy. Basically, he's decreasing the enemy's max HP, doesn't work on Clan Boss, and increasing his own, so you can go up to 60,000. So it's like 4 hits, so use this 4 times.
That'll actually be on a 2-turn cooldown, is that right? 3 turns? Yep, that'll be on a 2-turn cooldown. So he can ramp up, like his initial HP is really low, but after using this ability that goes to, 26,000, another 15 on top, another 15 on top, before you know it, he's got 71 flat HP basically. I don't see, it's probably not going to work, so it's max HP, so I don't know if it'll be included in HP stat things, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's just gonna be flat, so it's gonna be just a 60,000 on top of what he's got, whatever he ends up with. It'll be interesting to see how that actually works, if he hits weak or hard, and just see how long, is the ramp up worth it or not. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he actually works. Fated Destruction attacks an enemy, ignores 75% of the defense, and he can ignore unkillable and block damage buffs, and grants an extra turn if it kills an enemy. And then enemies killed can't be revived. So I don't know, I feel like he's maybe a arena, potentially dungeon character. And then he's got a decreased damage here on his passive, which is better with Siphi the Lost Bride. So that's how they pair up. So it decreases damage taken from bosses by 15%, but that's 30% if the bride's on the team. Will decrease damage from a single enemy hit, so that incoming damage will not exceed half of this champion's health, max HP from this hit. To go once per enemy attack, grants an extra turn if this damage reduction occurs. Decent, really high attack actually. Nice defense, really low speed at 90, so he's very slow. Not particularly excited for him. Yeah, nothing too amazing. Not a must-have by any means. Now the Lost Bride, on the other hand, it's a bit of a shame she's not the fusion, because I think she's a lot better. So she can put enemies to sleep on her A1 and can heal allies as well, depending on the turn meter above or below. Now this is really strong. Whirlwind Romance, it's going to be a 3-turn cooldown as well. So fills the turn meter of all allies by 50% and places a block debuffs, increased defense, and speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. So that's really strong. That's a triple right there. Revives a single ally with just above half health. And full turn meter, and then she places an increased attack and increased crit buff on that ally for 2 turns. Really, really strong. Single target revive, and then it gives them a turn. So there's the potential for a lot of synergy here. Really nice. Her Eternal Bomb passive is really cool as well. This is like it's a bit different to Doom Priest. So it's a little bit different to Doom Priest because Bolster activates when Doom Priest takes a turn, so you make Doom Priest really fast. Whereas with this character, she's healing when they take a turn, and it's 15% of their max HP at the start of their turn. That's really nice. Has a 40% chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from each ally at the start of their turn. Really nice too. Removes all debuffs from the fusion character at the start of their turn if they're on the same team. I really like this. This is just a passive heal for the team. She's really great. She's different, but I was thinking in terms of team healing, is it going to be kind of almost a bad L level with that AoE heal? It'd be interesting because she's got a revive as well. She's definitely a support character, but she's bringing block debuffs, increased defense, and increased speed. And then she's got a single target revive with turn meter fill and buffs there. And then she's also got buffs here. I think she's a really strong character. She's a void, so she's going to be really difficult to get, but she's going to be great in arena, dungeons, and I think for clan boss, she's going to be a really nice addition to speed teams, actually. Now, it'll be interesting to see how that works, but I think she could potentially replace Apothecary on my current team because she's got the increased speed. She doesn't have the turn meter, but she does have increased attack, revive. She's got a lot of other things, an AoE heal, so she's more of a team healer, whereas Apothecary is more spot. But I think this would work very, very well, particularly with Relentless and Whisper. So the synergy between Siphi and Whisper heals each ally by 50% of their max HP at the start of their turn. Now I'm guessing if you take an extra turn, that counts as another turn. So extra turn. So you can end up healing so much there. So I think there's a lot of potential there. So that would be a really nice addition to my team. Swap out Apothecary, drop this girl in. I think that could work really well. Her with Arbiter. So Arbiter could actually be revived as well with this Love Beyond Death. yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities here, and that's pretty exciting. But you know, she's Void, and she's a legendary. Probably not going to get her realistically. Okay, Fang Cleric. Now this guy is used in the fusion. He attacks an enemy and then transfers a random debuff from himself to whoever he's attacking. It's kind of cool. Heals an ally by 20% of their max HP. Also fills the target turn meter by 30% if they are fully healed by this skill. And if they're not healed, they places a veil. So that's pretty good. I kind of like that. And that can be on a 2-turn, so that's kind of nice. Speed Aura. Revive a dead ally with 30% HP. Then fills their turn meter by 30%. Places an unkillable buff on them. And a continuous heal. If this was a block damage, it would be better because you're healing by 30%. They can still take damage during that time, so they can go down to 1% HP. Kind of interesting. It's okay. I think it's pretty good, but yeah, possibly some cheeses and synergy and stuff there, but I don't think he's anything too special. Just initial kind of reaction there. Night Revenant. So we've obviously got Wormling Frost King, who I looked at in the last video. I won't spend too much time on him. I think he's decent. He is an arena character, however. So increased crit damage buff on all allies, that's strong. A decrease on the enemy. Strength and an increased defense. This is actually really strong. The Ice Grave Armor, that's a really strong ability, so I like that. And then his auras for arena. So he is generally going to be an arena character, particularly with freezes and stuff. Usability in dungeons, but I would say generally an arena character. This is the character I'm most excited about. Because you can get her as well. Sepulture Sentinel. So she's the one with the weird hair. It's like a wasp nest or something. Not a big fan of the model, but she's a bit weird. But you know, whatever. Her skill set is pretty nuts. So she attacks an enemy. So she's got an attack down on her A1. So that's really nice. And so just from that, you're already thinking, okay, maybe she's a clan boss character. So, you know, like replacing a Jareg or a Tayrel or somebody like that. And then we go to her A2. She places an increased defense and block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now it's on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, which isn't too bad. You only need 1 book to land there, so you can just drop 1 book until you get it. You probably want to book this anyway to increase the chance to 60%, because you know you want a reliable attack down for the clan boss. This is really strong. I like this. But then her passive, you want to book this too, because so she has a 40, is that right? Hang on, 30, 50% chance. Wow, when booked, to completely block incoming damage when this champion or their allies are attacked occurs once per turn. That's really strong. So when booked, you've got a 50% to block incoming damage when this champion or their allies are attacked. So I don't know if this will work for AoE wide attacks like on the clan boss. I'm not so sure. If it does, it's going to be really strong, because you've basically got a coin flip to dodge or block the damage that's incoming. I'm personally going to be replacing Tayrel with this girl. I think she's going to be really strong. She's got a nice aura for clan boss. You know, she's got Untouched by Death. This is going to help the team survive longer. She's got an increased defense and block debuffs, so the poisons and all the other debuffs that the clan boss can place. Really, really strong. She is literally built for clan boss. She is going to be better for than Tayrel for this. Well, it's depending what you need, I guess. Like Sepulture, or SS, we're going to call her, SS, Tayrel, and Jareg are going to be like the 3 core attack down characters for epics, I think. Really, really nice. I love this. This is perfect. Like, in an ideal world, what I would try is take Tayrel out, put her in, and then actually drop in Siphi instead of Apothecary, and I think that would be really strong in the current lineup that I've got for clan boss with Whisper and you know, the speed team. I think I've covered everybody there, so let's look at the fusion. So the fusion characters, just based on how good the SS is, I probably wouldn't fuse Groom, because you're having to rank all of these up, and it's just a pain. It's a lot of resource. I don't think he's that great. I think this girl is better than this guy, particularly the clan boss. I think she's kind of gimping herself with her abilities. He's kind of interesting, but I would say these two are kind of weaker. Azur's okay with his ally protect and stuff, but I would say these three aren't fantastic. But this girl is basically Tayrel, Jareg sort of level epic, which is really, really high tier, like end game, late game, whatever you want to call it, usable. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't fuse this guy. I know he's a legendary, but maybe you'll pull this girl during a ×2 event or something. But I'm not spending money, but I do intend on trying to complete just this part of the fusion here to get some SS, because I want to add it to my team. So yeah, not too long of a video, just kind of my thoughts and feelings on the fusion and the new champions that we've got. If I've missed anything, or you'd like for me to go over the rares or anything like that, drop a comment. And yeah, what do you think? What do you think of this fusion? I'm not even going to go into like the server maintenance and player and stuff like that at the moment, because that's obviously horrific, but I just wanted to focus on the fusion today and take a look at that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Yo, just as a little extra at the end of this, just pulling a few shards, you know, doing as you do. I had six of these to begin with. Hang on, let me move my persons out the way. I've got 4. I literally pulled 2 shards. Pulled a Norog. He's meant to be pretty good on clan boss, I hear. With his decreased damage taken. But I don't know if you need like the Lilitu as well. So that's kind of interesting. He's immune to stun, freeze, and sleep, so you can run him, you know, to eat the stun. I'll have to see where he's kind of usable, but there are some niche teams. He's not a duplicate. He's my first non-dupe pull in like 6 months. I'm not even joking. Literally been 6 months. So yeah, I got a new legendary, new toy.